Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to be doing a full face of Chanel, and I've done separate videos on the Oversize. This is the Sunkiss powders. I did a video, I've got the medium and the deep. Today I'm going to use the medium, and I'm also going to use the new Beiges as the Water-Fresh blush, and today I'm going to use the one in light pink. Now I did a dedicated video on this where I put on my cheeks this colour, also warm pink and also intense coral. So I'll put the link up there if you want to take a look at how the other colours look. This is the lightest of the three, but even though it's still my favourite. So I've already got my primer on. I use the new Hourglass one, which I absolutely love. And I don't have the new Water-Fresh Beiges foundation, but I do have the Water-Fresh Tint. And you can see how much I've used. I absolutely love this. This is in the shade medium light, which is perfect for this time of the year. I could probably go one shade deeper. So when I've run out, I'm definitely going to get a backup of this, and I may just go up one shade. I find this really good. I have oily skin, those of you that haven't watched my videos before, and I find that I can wear this even in the middle of summer. This is fantastic for oily skin or for all skin types. I know there's just so many people out there that love this tint, and I think it has a beautiful coverage. I've heard some people say it's got no coverage. Well, it actually has. It is sheer, but there's definitely coverage there. It just evens out the complexion, and it is buildable, and I just find it really, really lovely. For this foundation, I'm going to use the Coco brush. This is the FO2 one, and it's a foundation brush. It's really soft, but it's quite dense. I just wish it was a little bit bigger, but I find this really good for putting this foundation on. So first of all, I'm just going to break up the pigment on the back of my hand, and then I'll just scoop some up and start applying it. This, when you first put it on, it does seem like there isn't anything there. But then all of a sudden, it does start to just give this really beautiful coverage and just evens everything out. And I know that with quite a few foundations, people will say it's your skin but better. And I think that's true in a lot of cases, but this really is. It's just so lightweight and so sheer that it really just takes your skin up that notch, and really, to me, it doesn't look like you're wearing foundation at all. It's a really beautiful product. So you can see how it starts to even it out. I'm looking forward to, well, I would be if New Zealand was getting it, the new Chanel Water-Fresh foundation on that's got more coverage. But when I was talking to my SA, I don't think it's not like we're ever getting it, but we aren't getting it in the near future. So Chanel does seem to be doing some odd things when it comes to releasing products, but hopefully it will come in a few months. I might try and get it from somewhere else if I can. I'll just see what I can do, because I really would like to try that out. I've seen a couple of videos on it, and it does look really beautiful. So just by, I just stipple it in. I haven't put any, I'll put what's excess on my brush over my eyes and just under as well. Even though it is a light coverage, you can see how it evens out the skin tone compared to that side. I've still got a bit of redness, and it's not very even, whereas on this side it is, and I just think it gives a really beautiful coverage. So that's with all the Water-Fresh tint on now, and you can see why I've used over half of this bottle. It really is beautiful, and it just sort of stuns me every time I put it on. I think it's lovely. So now I'm going to pop on some concealer. This is the Chanel, this is the Longwear one, and this is in the shade B30. I just put a little bit in each corner, and I'll just grab a Sonia G. This is a Fusion brush, and this is the soft concealer one, and I just will spread the product first in corner, and then with the excess just take it under my eyes. I am trialing out for powder under my eyes the new Westman Atelier one, and so far I have been liking it. I will put it on today, but I also want to do a video on it because I'm sort of in two minds about it as a powder for the rest of my face, but I just want to trial it out a little bit longer before I do a video on it. So I've now put some eyeshadow primer on. I've also done my eyebrows, and I put the powder under my eyes, the Westman Atelier one that I was talking about, and it is in the shade Creme. I also picked up the translucent one as well to try out. I haven't tried that out yet, but I will over the next couple of days. Now I'm just going to powder the rest of my face. I'm going to use the Chanel, the Finish Loose powder. This is in B30 as well. So I'm just going to grab the Longwear brush and just swirl it in the powder, and we'll just set this foundation down. So now with the powder on, it's just a beautiful combination, the tint and the powder. I can still see through here a little bit of redness and my sunspot through here. I'm not going to for this video because I just want to keep it using the tint by itself with the powder. But often I just put, and it's only a little bit of a concealer just over those areas, just a small amount, and blend it in before I powder if I just want a little bit more coverage on there. But I don't mind either with my real skin sort of showing through. I think that's really nice as well. But overall, I think it does even things out, and I really like the finish. It really is very natural looking. So now I'm going to bronze. I'm going to use one of the new Oversize Healthy Glow ones. It's a Sunkiss powder. I just call these the bronzers. They have such a long title. And this is in Sunkiss medium. As I said earlier, I did pick up the deep one as well. So I will put up the links. I did 2 different videos using both of them. So if you want to see the one using the deep shade, I'll put the link up here for you to take a look. I love these bronzers, and since I first got them, nearly every day I've either been using this one, the medium, or the deep. I swap between the two. I think both are really beautiful. I love the formula. I love the size compact. I've been using the mirror as well. Sometimes I like to have a mirror close up when I do my eyebrows and put mascara on, and I've been using this mirror for that. I just think these are lovely, and the embossing on this, I'll hold it up for you. It's nearly gone, well, in the middle where I've been using it so much, but it really is lovely embossing. And the scent of these are fragranced, and the scent of them is really beautiful too. So I'm just going to get the Sonia G, this is the Niji Pro, and just tap it in, and I just think this has a sheen to it. But it's really beautiful. It's very subtle, and I think it's gorgeous. Now, I'm not going to pick up the shade Light because I've heard even on fair skin you can hardly see it as a bronzer. But I am wondering whether it could be suitable as an all-over face powder, just to use to just slightly lighten things up. But not that so you're super bronzed all over your face. It would probably be quite nice for that, but I don't think I will pick it up. I've also seen quite a few videos using the kabuki brush that came with it. Now, I never picked that up, and I'm sort of wishing that I had now. I probably could give the Chanel boutique here a call and see if they do have it. I've got a horrible feeling though that it's probably going to be sold out, but I'm sort of wishing that I had picked it up. But this brush, this Sonia G one, the Niji Pro, is just beautiful for putting bronzer on. really, if I was going to get the kabuki brush, it would really just be to add to my brush collection. I'd probably use it, but it's not really a necessity. But I've just heard really great things about it, and that it puts product on really beautifully, and it's super soft. And also because it's synthetic, it would probably last a really long time. You get a lot of use out of it. So for the eyeshadow today, I am going to use a Chanel one, but it's not a Beiges one. I've done 2 different videos on the bronzes. Then I also did the water blush video showing all 3. And I've used the Beiges, the Intense eyeshadow palette, one of the videos, and the other one that was more a pinky colour. I think it was called Tender. I've used that as well. So what I did is I've gone into, I haven't got a huge collection of Chanel eyeshadows, but I had a look through, and ones that are available, I thought, what could I use in this video? And I have used this a couple of times because I didn't buy it that long ago. This is number 202, and I think it's called Tisse Camelia. And I thought this would be a really beautiful eyeshadow quad just to do with this look, to go with the light pink blush and just a very nude lipstick as well. So this is the eyeshadow quad, and I just think it's really, really pretty. So I'm just going to put together a really soft look. I'm going to take the reference number 14. I'm going to go into this shade first, and just put this through here and slightly above. I just want to keep the look fairly soft looking, just something that I'd wear for everyday type of makeup. But I picked this out of the drawer, must have been a few days ago, and put it on, and wondered why I sort of hadn't reached for it earlier, because it is a really pretty quad and I think it looks really nice on. I'm going to take this Sonia G, the Blender Pro, go into this shade here, and just put this in the outer corner and blend it out. You can get more pigment out of this if I used a brush that wasn't quite so fluffy, but I really just want to keep everything fairly soft looking. I might add a bit more depth using the Sonia G, it's the mini booster, once I've got all the other shadows on. But at this stage I just want to put this colour, just sort of a hint of it in the outer corner. Then I'm going to take the reference number 2. I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm just going to put that over the rest of my lid and just a little bit through there as well. I'm going to take the reference 3, go back into the darkest shade, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. And I think I'll just add a little bit more. Then I'm going to take the Chocohodo brush, it's the F06, and go into this shade here. And I'm going to put it over the other colour, and it just lifts it all. This is what I did the other day, and I just thought it looked really, really pretty. I'm going to take the Sonia G Pencil 1, go back into this colour here, and I just want to add a bit on the lower lash line and just through here. And then I'm just going to take the Sonia G, this is the mini booster. I'm going to go back into the darkest shade and just add a little bit more depth, just to the very outer part, so I don't lose that depth. I think the shade is really, really beautiful, so I just want to deepen it up just that little bit more. So I've now put some eyeliner on. I just tight lined on my upper lash line and just a little bit on the lower lash line. This is in the shade Espresso, and of course for the mascara I use the Chanel Volume because I just love it. It really is my favourite mascara. Not only does it give a bit of volume, but it also gives a little bit of lengthening as well. I just think it's such a fantastic mascara. So now let's put on some blush. So as I was saying earlier, this is the new Beiges. This is the Water-Fresh blush. This is the one in light pink. And even though it is the lightest out of the three that I have, it is my favorite color. It gives a subtle wash of color. Now, one thing with these blushes is that you need to put the pump on the back of your hand or something else and break up those micro droplets. It's not one where I think you could just put the pump on your hand and then start putting it on your cheeks. I don't think it would work that great that way. So I'm going to do one pump on the back of my hand and I will show you what it looks like. So it's watery and it's runny, but you can see the pigment in there. Now, out of the three that I got, the Intense Coral is the most pigmented. I did see a video yesterday, someone using one of the newer shades, and that's the Warm Bronze. That is really pigmented as well. So what I do is I just mix it on the back of my hand. It just takes a few seconds. I know some people are saying that this is a fiddly blush. I sort of don't agree with that. I don't think it's fiddly. I think you just got to know how to use it. And really, it's the same with the tint that I just put on, the Chanel one for my foundation. You've got to break that up first as well. And I've always done that by just mixing it up on the back of my hand first. So maybe it's just because I'm used to doing it that way. So with these blushes, and in my other video I showed you, I put one of them on with a brush, one of them using a beauty blender, and then using my fingers as well. And with these, I mean, any method is fine. I just sort of prefer to put it on with my fingers. So this is what I've probably, didn't have to mix it for that long. So you can see it's just a really soft pink. It's not because there's no pigment. This is the shade. It's just a very soft pink. So I'm just going to dab that on. I'll just take a little bit more. And I did mention it in my other video, but I have had some questions again about it. Does it move the foundation underneath? No, it doesn't. And it doesn't, I've got the powder on as well. It doesn't disrupt that. It doesn't move the products underneath. I've used these blushes because I've had them since the end of last year. And I've used them with no foundation. I've used them just on top of foundation, no powder. And also like today with powder as well. And they just work beautifully. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. I do find that these wear really well, and they feel like when you put them on, they feel just like the Water-Fresh foundation or tint. They have that cooling effect, and they dry down, not, I wouldn't say that quickly, but they do dry down. And to me, they feel velvety when they dry down to me, but they still leave a really beautiful glow. So when I wear these, I tend not to put on a highlighter as well. That's just me. I just feel that the glow is enough. Now with the darker tints, one pump would probably even be too much, but I just find with the soft color, I do use a full pump. And I know it's a very subtle flush of colour, but I love it. I think it is really, really beautiful. So I think that's all the blush that I've got on the back of my hand. The other thing, when you break it up on the back of your hand, I wouldn't, even what I did just before, I probably moved it around in quite a bigger area. I'd probably try and keep it to a smaller area while you're breaking up the pigment on the back of your hand. So now it's sort of dried down. It's starting to, it hasn't dried completely down, but it's dried down enough that it sort of won't move around. So it's not that quick, but I think it gives just a really beautiful finish, and it just has that really gorgeous glow too. I look in the monitor and I know you're probably thinking there's not much of a shade there, but I love it. I just love the shade. This light pink is definitely my favorite one. It is really, really beautiful. So now for lipstick, I'm just going to wear a very neutral shade. I'm going to use the Coco Flash one, and this is in the shade Dawn, and I wear this colour a lot. I will go through this lipstick because I reach for it so much, and when I do, I will be buying a backup of it. I'm not going to put any lip liner on. You could, but I just want to keep this look fairly simple. So here is the finished look, and I think it is really, really beautiful with everything together. I love the Water-Fresh Tint. I think it is a beautiful foundation. It just gives such a natural look. And I've used the Chanel loose powder now for quite a long time, and I love it. I think it goes really great with my oily skin. And these bronzers are just beautiful. Like I said, I've been reaching for them nearly every single day since I got my hands on them, and I swap between the medium and the deep one, and both are really beautiful. And as I said, I have done videos on those, so I will put links to those videos above here if you want to take a look at the deeper shade, or if you want to see the video where I use the medium shade and then I swatch them both as well. But this medium shade is really beautiful. It gives a really gorgeous, just a Sunkiss glow to the face, and for this look, it just keeps it really soft and really beautiful. The blushes are gorgeous. I love them, and I don't think we're getting those here in New Zealand, so I was lucky that I picked them up last year from a place in Asia. I don't think it's not that we're never going to get them, it's just that we're not going to get them in the near future. Well, that's what my essay at the Chanel boutique was saying, so who knows, they may come later in the year or they may not, but in any event, I'm pleased that I picked these ones up. Now in the USA, there's been mixed talk about it, whether the water blushes and the new foundation are going to be released on the 15th of June. They may be, they may not be. Chanel's been a little bit unpredictable lately about where they're going to release new products and when next they're going to release, because Canada got the new foundation and the blushes, and then a bit later then the UK got them, and some boutiques throughout Europe, so it's sort of been a bit all over the place. But I hope the USA does get them really soon. I will have everything that I've got on my face today in the description box below, and it will be linked as well. And the lipstick Dawn is beautiful, and as I said, I'll buy a backup when I've used it because it is a lipstick that I do reach for a lot. The other one that I reach for a lot, but that was a limited edition, and that is in the shade Douceur, and that is absolutely beautiful. Probably more of a favourite for me than Dawn, although I think Dawn's beautiful, but I just wish I had picked up a backup of that Douceur shade. I have to remember in the future, if a limited edition lipstick comes out that I really like, I need to pick up 2 or 3 of them, because when I really love a shade, it is one that I do reach for a lot. But these collections that Chanel are bringing out this year have just been absolutely beautiful, and I'm thrilled with all the things that I've picked up. I think when you put it all together, just gives a really beautiful look. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.